Hello friends, this is Raj Sastry from Raj Option Trading. Today is March 17, 2022. Let's talk about one of my favorite companies. It's Advanced Micro Devices or AMD. So AMD is an undisputed king in the semiconductor space along with one of my favorite stock NVDA. Here they're introducing a new product as you can see here, and it's the industry's high performance adaptive computing leader. Let's look at this company in a little more detail and see if it's good time to buy AMD. Look, they got a very good product portfolio here. They got Ryzen, it's into desktop, mobile, and they got Epic, they're into gaming and performance here. And they got Radon, Instinct, and semi-custom. As you can see here, they got best product portfolio in this semiconductor space and able leadership of Lisa Su. They're going into PCs, data center, and gaming, and multiple other areas. So with that, let's go into some more details here. Look, I've selected few semiconductor stocks here. All these companies I've selected here have got net margin positive, net margin more than 10%. That tells you all these companies are making money right now. And as you can see here, a price to sales ratio or valuation as you call it, some companies are a little bit expensive as you can see here. NVIDIA is a little bit expensive with the price to sales ratio 23 here. And we got our company that we are talking about, AMD. It's also it's not too expensive. Price to sales ratio is just 8 as you can see here, but compared to other companies like Himax or even Intel, it's expensive. So with that, as you can see here, AMD is doing great. They got a nice margin here, very good 19% net margin as you can see here. And look, stock has been doing it's down today when all the other semiconductor stocks are doing well. AMD is not doing great in today. And look, their RSI is 48. That tells you stock is a little bit having trouble here at this time in the short term. Long term, look at the 5-year performance here, nice 718%, and nice free cash flow of $3.2 billion. And look, it's got a nice financial positioning with great Altman Z score. Anything over 2 is great. This one is doing extremely well. And they got their profitability is number 1 rank in the industry, and growth is number 2 rank. Valuation is a little high, that's why it's 6. But otherwise, company is doing great. So let's look at this company in a little more detail. I also like other companies, but today we'll talk about AMD and see if it's worth buying AMD at these levels here. So with that, let's go into some more detail here. Look, AMD, as you can see here, stock is at $111 as you can see here, and down $3 today. And it's in a 52-week range here. They're in a midpoint as you can see here. They have gone all the way up to 164. Right now they're at 111, almost at the midpoint range in a 52-week range here. And stock is moving. It's a living breathing stock as you can see here. In one day it made a nice move here, about $5 move. That's why it's a good stock. It's a liquid stock. It moves around. It's not a dead stock as you call it. And on a 5-year basis, stock has done great as you can see here. A nice performance in last 5 years. So it's a good stock, even if you take a look at the long-term performance. And from an analyst perspective, right now it's a buy rating. And as you can see here, 24 analysts are covering this stock, 14 strong buy, 1 buy, 9 hold. Overall, it's a good buy rating. And as you can scan through here, from an industry perspective, from a quality perspective, this gets a grade of 98 according to Stock Rover, and industry is at 66, S&P 500 is at 77. So overall quality perspective, the stock is super high quality. That's why it gets a grade of 98, which is much higher than its industry as well as overall S&P 500. And from a gross margin perspective, it's in line with the industry. As you can see here, semiconductor industry doing around 14.7. This company is doing 48.3. So it's a little bit less compared to the industry, but great compared to S&P 500. Operating margin also along, it's a little bit lower than the industry, but doing very well. Net margin, same story, positive net margin, that's great. And return on asset as well as return on equity, they're doing much better than the industry. And return on invested capital, they're doing great. They're killing it here, almost double compared to the industry. So overall, stock is doing well compared to the industry, as well as compared to S&P 500 in general. And now let's go into a little more detail on AMD. Look, right now price is at $111 here, and they do have a little bit float short here, or short ratio as you call it, not too much at all. And currently price is at 111. Look at the target price 151. So that is a very good healthy target price here. That tells you analysts are really upbeat on this stock here. And as you can see here, the trading volume is very high today, huge trading volume here, even though stock came down. So I think at this point, we should take a look at this company, and if you can see if you can buy it slowly and accumulate. And look, from a sales perspective, great sales here, $16 billion in sales, and even up at $16 billion baseline here. Nice quarter-over-quarter sales growth of 48%. Your year-over-year sales growth is great, 68%. And 5-year sales growth is also great. So it's a growth company. Company is firing in all cylinders, as we can see here. And gross margin, positive, net margin, double digit. Even the net margin is double digit. So all the margins, the gross, the operating, the net, even the EBITDA margin, all positive. So companies are really doing great here. From a valuation perspective, a little bit expensive, but no biggie. In the semiconductor space, typically, they have a little bit higher valuation. And as you can see from a projection perspective, from next year, analysts are projecting a nice growth next year as well as this year from both sales perspective and EPS perspective. That tells you analysts are bullish on this company. Even the price to earning growth perspective is not too expensive, so it's a good company to buy at these levels here. And look, Wall Street does not like companies with no earnings. This company has got nice earnings per share here, $2.57. And look, they got a lot of cash. Look, they got $3.6 billion of cash. Very low debt, as you can see here. They got just $661 million of debt, not too big at all. Nice operating cash flow. Look, they got $3.5 billion operating cash. Company doing great. And from a return perspective, from 1 day and 10 day, 1 month, 3 month, it's in a negative right now. With all these high growth names coming down, this also came down slightly. That's why it's time to slowly start buying this great company and go from there. And from a technical perspective, RSI is 48, tells you stock is sold off here. IV percentile is 56.25. For you folks who want to, earn some money selling some put options, you could do very well by selling some put options way below the current stock price of AMD and make some money because of this high implied volatility here. And look, ATR, average true range, is 6.89. That tells you on an average last 14 days, stock has moved up and down 6.89%. That tells you can make some money trading this stock also, because it moves. It's not a stock which does not move at all. And put call ratio is 0.71. Tells you there are a lot more people buying call than put. That's why it's less than 1. And look, insiders are selling a little bit, not too much. I've seen much bigger numbers, but insiders are selling a little bit, not a big deal here. Institutions are buying slightly, that's why it's positive here. And from a grade perspective, from Morningstar, financial health is great. It's grade B. Growth is grade B here. Profitability is grade A from a Morningstar perspective. That tells you company is doing great. Financially, they're good. Altman Z score is 25.4. That tells you they're great. And from an industry perspective, they're doing great. Look, growth is 2, profit is 1. So they're doing great compared to industry. Valuation is a little bit high. That's why they get a 6 here, which is okay for these type of high growth companies. Piotrowski F score, which tells me books are consistently stable and financials are improving. Above 5 is great. This company is doing good here. All right, so with that, let's jump in and look at AMD by numbers. Look from a number perspective, as you can see here, I like the trajectory here. Earnings per share is nicely going higher. I like it. Company doing great when it comes to earnings per share. They're growing it year over year. Sales is at a nice clip here. I like this sales clip here. They're doing great. Shares outstanding, it's increasing slightly. But when the sales is going gangbusters like this, I'm okay with slight increase of shares outstanding. Not a big deal. Operating margin, as you can see here, it's going up nicely. I like the operating margin. The company doing great. Net margin, it came down slightly in 2021, but I think still it's in a nice clip here. I like this. I would love them to take this a little higher, but they're doing pretty okay here. And look here, debt. They are reducing the debt big time. I like this company. I like the companies who are really paying down the debt and reducing the debt. This company has got fiscal discipline. That's why they're paying down the debt. I like this. Overall, from a picture perspective, company is in a perfect shape here. They got an able leader in Lisa Su. Company is firing in all the cylinders. The number perspective, it's in a tip-top shape here, doing great. All right, so let's look at earnings history here. Wall Street loves to see the earnings history and a positive trend in the earnings. Look here on a earnings previous past earning perspective, they have beat on the EPS basis nicely. Look here, nice beat here last couple of quarters. I like it. And from a revenue perspective also, they're doing nice here. Look, they're beating on the revenue also. So, in most of the last 7 or 8 quarters, they're beating on the revenue as well as EPS. So, Wall Street loves this. That's why this company is expanding, has expanded the price nicely in last couple of quarters. Right now, with all the inflation, it's coming down slightly. That's why it's a great time to slowly accumulate this good company, given its a solid performance and able leadership and also innovation engine. So with that, from a technical perspective, look, we got a nice 5-year chart here, 5-year weekly chart. Company doing great, as you can see here. Nice uptrend here. Off late, companies coming down with all this growth stock coming down, but looks like it's bottoming. It's trying to go higher, as you can see here. And now let's look at a smaller chart here. It's a 1-year chart, as you can see here. So in a 1-year chart perspective, look, there's a nice trend line. See, there's a nice trend line here. Company is bouncing off of this. That tells me this is a good support level around 100. So I think that's why it's a good number here. I think it's a great support at around $100. And it's bouncing off of that nicely, as you can see here. And from a RSI perspective, stock is strengthening slowly here, which is good sign. There's a momentum behind this stock at this time here. And from a implied volatility perspective, IV percentile is high, 56. That's why you could sell some put option way underneath and make some money that way also. And look, from a DMI perspective, the blue line wants to go higher, red line wants to come down. That's what I want to see in these companies. So it's slowly it will get into a bullish crossover where blue line will cross over red line on top, which is a good sign. And from a volume average perspective, look, stock is becoming stronger here. There are more buyers than sellers. That's a good sign here. And smart money is flowing into the stock, indicated by check-in money flow here. That's also a great sign here. So overall, from a technical perspective, looks like it's a good time to buy some AMD and get ready for uptick and growth here. All right, now let's look at the option chain. Look, we got AMD here. Current stock price is 111, as you can see here. Around 111, which is 110, which is close here. Look, around 110. We got a lot of open interest here. Folks want to buy call option. Look, even beyond 110, look at the open interest here. Even at $150, it's a nice open interest. Look at the open interest at $150. A lot of people are paying, very low price here. They're buying the call option at 150 by paying very low price here, $2.73 or so, and buying this, call option. They're betting the stock will go much higher than 150. That's why they're buying in huge quantity, as you can see here. On the put side also, there is some open interest. as you can see here, but nowhere compared to the call open interest. So that's why it's more bullish in the option market. All right, now let's look at option statistics. As you can see here from an option statistics perspective, we got number of calls here, 454, 1000 call contracts traded, 324 put contract traded. Clearly, number of call options contracts are more than put option contract. That makes the put call ratio at 0.71. That's a bullish sentiment on the Wall Street in the options market. And look, VWAP perspective, look, stock is at 111.69. VWAP is 111.39. That tells you stock might pull down a little bit, maybe around 30-40 cents or so. That's why it's a good time to slowly scale into the stock and buy the stock and get ready with a nice position as you go forward. All right, now let's look at financial summary. As you can see here from a financial summary perspective, company doing great. They did $16.4 billion record revenue, up 68% from 2020. Gross margin is also up nicely. As you can see here, they got nice profitability and operating cash flow is up nicely. Free cash flow is also up great here, 314%. They also repurchased their common stock, which is good sign. Buying back is a good story here. They have a strong balance sheet with $3.6 billion. Look at the annual revenue, it's increasing. So with this in mind, I think it's a great time to buy some AMD. Stock is getting clobbered in Wall Street here. Nice pullback at this time here. I think it's a good time to buy some AMD and position yourself for a nice profit as you go forward. So with that, thank you very much. Happy investing and trading. Please subscribe.